Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Haley Bree, an eight-figure founder and investor who is creating a new era of entrepreneurship where getting rich and being relaxed can actually happen at the same time. There's a whole community of us on my free app, so come be an insider. I have the links to download on either Apple or Google Play in the show notes description, so definitely come be a part of it. And thank you so much for being here. I just got back from a weekend in Minneapolis and hanging out with this guy who we're starting a tech company together. I have a lot of background that I'm going to kind of catch you up on. And then I also want to dive into how we mapped out a $50 million ecosystem within this tech company. You know me, I'm going to be documenting on Instagram stories all the time, right? And so I was putting snippets of our conversation, little, sneak peeks of the whiteboard, all the things. And I had a few DMs going, how the hell are you mapping out multi-millions inside of an ecosystem on a whiteboard? Like, I don't even know what questions to ask to even get my mind to that point. And real quick, you don't have to build this massive empire or these massive tech companies to be successful. Obviously, we all know that. I just want to make sure I'm stating it just in case someone needs a refresher. You can build a really amazing $200,000, highly profitable business, have the wealth that you want in a few decades that's going to retire you, plus have the lifestyle you want. Like, that is possible, okay? But for me, business feels like a playground. It genuinely feels like a super fun game that I am grateful every day that I get to wake up to play. That's how business feels to me. And that's how I know it is part of my soul's calling in this world because of the way that I am so energized by it. And it feels more like I would literally do this for free. That is how much fun I have. This just feels like a game. So that is why I'm going after these big goals, not because I have to hit $50 million to hit this, to hit this. That makes it less fun. Cash flow is awesome. Cash flow allows me to play the game at bigger levels, to help a massive more people. Because at the end of the day, something that really lights me up is creating a healing center or something along those lines. A super rough idea in my head, but where entrepreneurs and people everywhere can come to heal their body, their soul, everything. And I have a vision for it. You should see my Pinterest board, and that's going to cost a lot of money, but it is something that I can see my son running one day, right? We run that together. So this is something that I have this super big vision, and then I get to play these really fun games in business to hopefully get to that completion of the vision. But what I want to do is I want to walk you through where this tech company started and where it is now, because I think it's important to know that this is not a straight line to a $50 million ecosystem. This is real life, and real life means that not everything worked in my favor. So I have wanted to talk human design for entrepreneurs for years, but I recently got diagnosed with like a very extreme form of anemia, and I've been passing out, but I've been having health issues and for years and years and years. So I have not had the energy or capacity to actually go after what I've been wanting in business. Taking care of myself really genuinely became a full-time job. I mean, it was taking 5 to 6 hours a day of just taking care of my body because it was so weak. And thankfully, I have a solution. I have a doctor. It's amazing. And we finally found the root cause. So yay, amazing. But that is why I feel like I've been sitting on the sidelines and watching all my friends play on this playground. They're sliding on the slides. I'm like, no, I'm really good at sliding on the slides. I want to slide on the slides, but my body wasn't letting me. It's like I was just like stuck on the sidelines for so long, and it has been heartbreaking to say the least. But, it's needed because life was lifing, and I got to really focus on life and making sure that everything is secure over here, and my son feels loved during transitions and all that stuff. So it's been a good thing, but my heart and soul have just been wanting to play so bad. So it feels really good to be back in the game. Now, I created this IP for Human Design Tech Company. And what I mean by IP is the outputs. So when you get your human design chart, and by the way, let me back up. If you don't even know what human design is, I should not assume. So human design, if you love personality test, great. You're going to love human design because it's way better than that. It's like what you've taken, but way better because it speaks to the way your cells are designed in your body. Let's take Enneagram. Let's be honest. Enneagram is an expression of your childhood wounds, right? We all know that to a degree. Meyer-Briggs, Strength Finders, it's just how you're showing up in the world when you're presented with something. Human design is like your operating system. It is how you are designed at a very, very deep level to thrive and succeed in life and where the shadow sides are and all those things. So it's basically like a personality test, but goes way deeper. And in my opinion, is more accurate because it's fixed. It's not, it might not change based off how you're expressing a wound inside your body, right? So I love human design, and I think that entrepreneurs can leverage this knowledge to their benefit to grow their business way more, but also in a way more energized way, less burnout, more happiness. Honestly, more happy entrepreneurs, that's the goal. So I created the IP, which means all the different types of charts. I created the outputs to explain your chart, but then also I wanted to create the first human design based revenue system for entrepreneurs. And that is in the works right now, but I'm so pumped because I know even the baby version right now is blowing people's minds. And I know over the next few years, it's just going to keep getting better and better. So I'm pumped. But that is the IP that I've created. If you followed me on Instagram or kind of know, last summer, I had a massive piece of glass break over my legs and it chopped up my right side of my lower leg and it destroyed the nerves on the bottom of my feet. Well, I couldn't walk for a few months. I'd have crutches, all the things. But what was so great about that was what else could I do except create IP for human design? So I got so much created for this software. And then I got to the point where the IP was done, went to Instagram. I was like, hey, I need a developer for this software. Emily reached out, who was a not former friend of mine, but like, oh my God, we've been friends for almost a decade. So, like back in like 2018 or something crazy. We've been friends for a long time. Well, we decided we were going to be business partners and work together, and she was going to develop this software. Well, we get into it, and she's like, oh, wait, no, can't develop a software, but I know someone who can. Amazing. I start designing all of the IP for the software, or not the IP, sorry, designing the UX UI experience. If you don't know, I majored in web design in college, so I love me a good UX UI project, let me tell you. For fun, I will just watch Netflix and just create dashboards for apps in Canva. I love it. So I've always done this. So we took this UX UI, found a great developer. Her name was actually also Emily, and she was amazing and so freaking patient with us because we were experiencing a lot of friction on how to grow, how to move forward with a few things that were happening behind the scenes, not between us, but just with life and business. So Emily was amazingly patient, and I am like so grateful for her. But she starts developing, right? So we're making progress. Emily and I, months later, we launched a human design mini mind, and we had quite a few people sign up. Very exciting. It went well, but the problem was that we felt friction with us, the dynamic in the business. And what was happening was Emily really, really loved her personal brand. She loved her services. She loved taking care of clients. And I wanted to scale this thing, but I was over here afraid that we're going to scale and I'm going to be dumped with the entire load of the day to day. I did not want that. And so I was resisting growth because of my fear. She was resisting growth because she didn't want to scale. At the end of the day, she didn't want to scale. She wanted to grow and maintain something that energized her with her personal brand. That's what she wanted to do. And that's what her ideal day to day looks like. And that's why self awareness is so important. Just a little shout out to the self awareness skill because it truly makes all the difference in business when you can make high level decisions with self awareness. So we decided we're going to dissolve the business. So, okay, we're done, but we love each other. Emily's actually going to come work for the tech company as a coach and an affiliate. So it's great. Our relationship is still so solid. Our friendship is still so solid. We both wanted to work together, but we realized this is not the way that we are meant to work together. So then I met this guy through a software company that I actually had to create an app through because for this podcast, because the Kajabi app was terrible and was not working the way it needed to at all. So had to move over to this other software company, build in a branded app through them, launched it to the market. So all of you can actually experience behind the scenes of the podcast and sign up for this app, and we can have a really high level community of entrepreneurs over there for free. By the way, it's completely free. It's no cost. Just look up Haley Bree app. You should be able to see it on either Apple or Google Play. But I met him. We bonded over growth strategy, private equity, because we both have our separate private equity deals and firms, and NFL. He's a Lions fan, and I am obsessed with Dan Campbell, who is the head coach of the Lions. They were underdogs, and the way Dan Campbell has created such a culture that just grew I just love it. I love a good head coach, and I love studying the financial ecosystem of the NFL is so fascinating to me. But anyway, so we bonded, and he texted me one day and was asking about human design. I got his chart, and then I sent him information about his human design based off of my IP, copied and pasted it into a Google Doc. He texted me, I am crying right now at a New York coffee shop. I've never felt so seen in my life. That excites me because of a few things. Number one, he's a man. He's a man who felt seen by the way I explained human design. That to me is like I really have something, because what I didn't want to happen was this IP be considered spiritual or woo-woo or fluffy or overly feminine, that it's not practical and it's not tactical and it's not something that you can actually apply to your life or feel like you can use it in any way, or you're using words. It's like, what does that even mean? Right? And so this is only version 1 of the IP. Right? So it's going to keep getting better and better. But I'm so particular about quality control when it comes to what I'm putting out there in the world. And so I was super excited that it landed. He asked, can you please do this for my team? I was like, of course. Sent over their charts. And then I sent them, what the information around their charts and explained their human design to them. And by the way, these are like 14, 15-page Google Docs for each explanation of the charts. It was a lot of information. And they read them all. And they felt seen as well. Like, I've never felt like something nailed me so well. This is so accurate. I have now used all of this to train my AI to help me make leadership decisions. It's like amazing. Okay, this IP, because it's way better than what AI can put out. I know that. But you can actually use it with AI to leverage. So I love to see where their brain was going with it. Then he said, you know what? Where's the tech? Like, where can I send people to sign up and get their charts? I explained to him the situation. I was super open and honest. Here's the situation. I really want this tech up, but we have these difficulties. I'm dissolving my partnership. And he said, text me when you're ready to partner. I was like, are you for real? He's like, dead for real. Let's do it. It's like, okay. So we get on a call, we go over details. He asks me some questions just to make sure we're on the same page with goals and cash flow and all those things. And I fly up to Minneapolis this past weekend, and that is when we're mapping out all of this entire ecosystem. Now, what made me want to take the jump with him? Number one, connections to developers that I know is going to be able to, at the speed of which I want to create these things and optimize the software and optimize the app so that we can grow at the pace I want to grow. He has that entire team locked and loaded. Number two, his past results. He values the same thing I do, which is fast growth based off of very simple and very few KPIs. KPI stands for key performance indicator. It's just a special number that tells you how you're growing. So if you have a funnel, whatever your lead to sell conversion rate is, that conversion rate is your KPI. So if you have 100 leads come in, you have 20 sales, you have a 20% conversion rate, that 20% is what I'm always checking every week. So you look at a few KPIs in your business that are really driving the results, and then you spend all of your time focused on increasing those KPIs for just accelerated growth. That's how he grows businesses. That's how I grow businesses. So we were a match made in heaven when it comes to the way we move about in the business space. He's 7x convert kits monthly MRR. He helped Don Miller launch parts of his business and $500,000 in a few days. So there are all these things that, like, okay, I trust you. Like, I trust that you are actually going to be a solid growth engine, because in the past, what has happened is that I have been the growth engine. I have been the strategist. I have been all the roles, and I'm a projector in human design. What am I doing in all these roles? Like, I need someone that I can partner up with, and I trust that they're going to be an engine, that I trust that their strategy that they're coming to the table with is as high level or more than mine. So that has been really great. It's really great experience. Now let's get into the $50 million ecosystem, because that is probably why you came here to listen to this episode. I just wanted to give you some background information so you can see, okay, there has been a lot of hiccups. There has been some bumps in the road. Everything doesn't go smoothly when it comes to, you can't just snap your fingers and it happens. That's not the way business really works. But it can still be fun along the way. And you can still meet amazing people along the way and love them, just like my example with Emily, and have a great relationship with them, even if things don't work out. So now let's talk more about the $50 million ecosystem. And by the way, if you are at all interested in looking at or like hearing some of the actual conversations we've had, I have recordings from my phone that I am sharing inside of the app that's connected to this episode. We are diving deeper into each of these episodes inside of the Haley Bree app that's connected to the shows. I'm going to show you all of the pictures of the whiteboard, like our sales frame, wireframe, or sorry, our sales page wireframe, our actual conversation snippets, behind the scenes, everything. I will have that in the app so you can go check it out there. And it is a completely free app. There are no upsells, and I would love to have you as a part of the community. So let's talk about this ecosystem. I show up, we get sushi, we're talking about our goals and beyond what we're even creating now. Something that lights me up is creating an entrepreneur, or just honestly anyone, a healing center that people can come to and not just heal spiritually, but heal physically. And there's all these things that I have in my mind, and I don't want to get into too many details because it's very rough right now, but I'm pumped about it. And it's something that I see my son and I running together one day. I mean, that's the goal, is wow, we can make humans happier, and that's going to make the world better. And we can do that through this center. I would love that. It's going to take a lot of money to get that up and going. I mean, millions, 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 millions of dollars. I would want to do this right and probably put like $10 million towards this. So it's a beast, right? That is what my private equity firm is going to end up funding and fueling. And his private equity firm funds and fuels his vision beyond what his private equity deals are as well. And so it was really cool to have conversations about that. We are both very spiritual people, but I wouldn't say like religious. And so we got to talk about some really deep spiritual topics. So I knew then and there, because like if I can tell people how I sometimes make business decisions, it sounds a little wacky, but it is so true. It's make decisions sometimes from a place that makes no logical sense, but it's very, very, very spiritual. And it's like a voice inside my body that's not coming from me at all. I clear my energy a lot. I'm in the sauna. I'm putting my feet up against the wall, getting blood down to my heart so that I can have my heart center open and receptive to the outside energy. Anyways, okay, we're not talking about that. I know I just kind of get off on some rabbit holes, but if you're at all curious to talk to me about that, I absolutely love that topic. So reach out. Feel free to reach out on Instagram. Then when we got sushi that night, the next morning we hit the ground running. We started talking about our feelings, what our concerns were, what energized us, what we wanted to get out of it. It was a great conversation, and we dove into strategy. We got a whiteboard in the room, and immediately we started looking at the business model. That was the very first thing. And I came into this weekend thinking, okay, we're building a $10 million tech company. And if we're each taking $250K in salary a year plus quarterly profit distributions, so that'd make it like, I don't know, $500K, whatever. That feels good to me. I'm cool with that. That was my thinking going into this. Okay. Now we have the whiteboard. We're mapping out the model. And obviously our business model starts with the free account, because you're getting your chart for free. You're getting information delivered for free. So it's sign up to get your human design chart for free if you're an entrepreneur. That's number one. Now, number two is you can upgrade to a $9 a month tier. And with this tier, you can get daily insights for your business. So think in terms of you'll read one sentence and it'll save you hours. That's kind of the vibe we're going for. But it's all based off your human design chart. and how you can use it for yourself as an entrepreneur or for your business growth. Then you also will have a 60-second weekly snapshot that is still in the works. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to deliver that in the best way. I think I'm gonna have to do some market research on lifetime members that sign up, which, by the way, real quick before I keep going down this business model train, if you do want a um, lifetime access to this tech, it's $495. There's a $400 discount off of it. And if you sign up for the wait list, I will put the wait list in the description. Somewhere around this episode, I will make sure the link to that wait list is there. We are going to be launching in January. So make sure you are on this wait list, and I will do my best to secure a spot because we are limiting spots. But if you're on the wait list, I will do my best to guarantee you a spot. And if it does fill up, if I know you're on the wait list, I will try to finagle you a lifetime spot so you don't miss out. Okay. So just make sure that you're there. Lifetime is very inexpensive. And, moving forward, these will be annual subscriptions. So if you just want to pay once instead of forever, do that. Now, let's go back to the business model. The $9 tier, daily insights, and there will be some other information unlocked. This, over time, there will actually be more under the $9 a month tier as well, because this is where we'll get into gene keys. We'll get into a lot of other things. Now, the $49 a month, okay, this is where you'll get access to workshops. There will be 4 solid workshops that you guys actually will vote on. But then this is where the revenue system is delivered to you. So you will be delivered a lead and sell strategy, like an entire growth strategy from beginning to end based off of your human design chart. And that's what is delivered. Then, so there's that, there's the workshops, and then we're building an interactive voice tool, potentially voice tool. The MVP version of it might not be voice. We're figuring that out right now, but it's going to be called Nexa for what's next. So you'll talk to Nexa, and they will help you make business decisions in any way, shape, or form. And based off of the way you make decisions best, because of your human design chart, Nexa will help walk you through it and help you navigate all of that. So you'll be able to get access to Nexa. Now, after that, what happens? If someone wants to say, okay, Haley, I really want to grow with my human design. I want this to be handheld. I want high level strategy. I want implementation. I want accountability. And I maybe want help with like tech setup in terms of growth, because keep in mind, this whole thing is how can human design help you grow your business faster, easier, and feel better? That's the whole goal. So we're not talking operations as much. I'm saying if you want to come in and just be like, I want a growth engine based off my human design chart plugged into my business. That is where the next level comes in. And that'll be $5,000 for 6 months. So now you kind of understand what the model looks like. My idea coming into this was I want the $9 a month and $49 a month to be a tiered approach instead of separate products. So our original idea was the $9 a month with an upsell to the $49 a month. I was like, no. Why don't we lead from free and then have 2 tiers? Because then the price anchor, right? You get the price anchor effect. So let me quickly grab my piece of paper here that has the ecosystem and all the numbers. If we're getting 250,000 free users and we have a 50% free user to paid user, that means we have conservatively 100,000 paid users, okay? If 40% of those paid users did the $9 a month tier, that is $4.3 million annually, okay? 60%, that leaves 60% doing the $49 a month tier. That is $35 million annually. Now, if underneath the scalable agency side, that if 1% of our paid users, no matter what tier they have, upgrade to, okay, I want my handheld a lot more. I want you to help me plug a growth engine based on my human design chart into my business, which I feel like we're going to have more than 1%, but I'm trying to be conservative here. That is 1,000 clients, which is 5 million. And that doesn't even include a retention ecosystem on top of that. Because after those 6 months are over, then what? Some of them might want more. Who knows? That's where we're going to ask them, what do you want? And then we're going to help them get to their next goal or anything that they would find value in. We will figure out how to deliver that value at the highest possible level. But we don't have what the upsell ecosystem is quite yet because it needs to be based off of their desires and concerns at that stage. And we're not to that part of the business model yet because we have to build out this part first. So if you are adding all of that up, that is $50 million because you're taking 35 million plus another 10 million, that's 45 million, plus you have to think about the upsell ecosystem on the back of that. That is a $50 million tech company right there. Now, if we're thinking profit, we have to keep in mind our traffic sources for affiliates. This is the math that we're trying to break down, which, by the way, just keep this in the back of your mind, because if you are at all interested in being an affiliate, or you're thinking, yeah, my people would love to sign up for a human design chart, what we're trying to figure out right now is, if you, let's say you right now sign up, well, not right now, but when the tech is ready for people to sign up, when you sign up for an affiliate and you send 1,000 people to get their free charts, and 1,000 people get the free charts, you make $100,000. That's what we're trying to solidify right now, so that affiliates are getting paid, because there's a lot of people right now that could make this an easy additional passive income stream. And it's so easy because they're just helping people get their human design information, right? And what people are asking to upgrade to, especially as an entrepreneur, is so inexpensive. That was the goal here. How can we make the pricing very inexpensive, very no-brainer, but the value we're delivering is insane based off what they're paying, right? And that's our goal. That is our goal. So that's the numbers, and that's the thing to keep in mind with affiliates. Oh, that's what I was going to say, is the thing to keep in mind with affiliates is, yes, for 1,000 free users leads to $100,000 in revenue for them, right? But that's because they're getting 50%. So keep in mind, like that $35 million, if affiliates is, let's say, our main traffic source, that 35 million is actually 16, 17 million in profit minus expenses and all the stuff. But is that bad? No. I'll take 17 million in profit, right? And we're helping other creators in the industry make 17 million collectively. That to me is so energizing. And I'm not against ads. We'll run ads, of course we will, but I think the thing is, giving money to Facebook is not very energizing to me. The game of the science of it is fun. It's fun to just, basically, you're doing all these test tubes and figuring out, that is fun to me. But thinking about being able to pay $17 million into the creator space just because they're sending people to know more about themselves, that's fun. And that lights me up. So we mapped out the business model. We mapped out the deliverable based off of each different object inside of the business model ecosystem we've created that's going to generate $50 million, right? The pricing, the value, all of that. Now what? Well, we have to look at the front end of this business model. What we did, and I'm going to walk you through this because if you are wanting to plan this way, I want you to see how I plan, because I don't know if I made this very clear. I first got clear on the boxes. So free goes to 2 tiers, $9 a month, $49 a month. Then it goes to more of the scalable agency side, where it's like, okay, let's do some things for you or do some things with you, right? Once I got clear on those boxes, got clear on the prices, got clear on the value, then what I did is I said, what's the conversion rate from each of these boxes? So free to paid user is the first conversion rate. I did 50%. Paid user to a client is 1%. Now, what if you say, well, I don't know the number? Yeah, that's the point. How do you know the number? You haven't done it before. Guess. That's business projections. So I'm guessing based off of the energetics of the way the market is performing right now, based off of the numbers that I'm hearing from my friend's business, based off of numbers that I've done in the past, and then I'm really pulling back on that to try to be conservative. So these are more realistic numbers. Like, for instance, I've had an 18% conversion rate from cold lead to booked call. Am I going to put that conversion rate on here? No, I'm going to say that it's 2% because I want to be conservative when I'm doing these numbers. So business model, fulfillment of it, conversion rates. What are the KPIs, the variables that are going to affect growth? Then I say, well, 1,000 clients in a year sounds really great. I think that that's going to be very easy to do in terms of offering value to that many people. I can do that in my sleep because I've built that before, right? Okay, now we're gonna go to the paid users. Okay, can we handle 100,000 paid users? Yes, that's gonna be more of the quality of software, making sure that that's not gonna break. I mean, and that's where he has a connection to Polish developers and UX UI. So I feel great about that. Okay, now we need 200 to 250,000 free users. And if those variables, the 50% and 1%, stay the same, that's it. That 1% could end up being 2%. And then that 5 million goes to 10 million. You see what I'm saying? So it's crazy how just the variables and that's why literally just get free users in and see what the conversion rates are, see how you can optimize and increase them, and then you scale from there when you actually get real data. But at the top of this funnel here, I'll call it a funnel even though I don't really see it's more of like an ecosystem, but 200 to 250,000 free users. Now, how are we getting those users? And this is where in private equity, it's different. This is what I'm realizing. Growth looks different in private equity than it does outside of private equity. So when I'm doing a private equity deal, I actually have lead and revenue feeders to the business. I don't make a deal with a business unless I feel very confident that I would have revenue feeders for them. That's number one. And number two, the network. Private equity network is insane that you can tap into. Whereas when I was growing my business without any of the resources I have now, it was very much leverage traffic, the same strategies, but I didn't have the network. I didn't have the know how. I'm developing the skill for the first time. Once you have the skill, rinse and repeat. I didn't have the skill. So I'm learning, okay, how do you leverage someone else's traffic so I don't have to go create it from scratch on my own? That's a skill. And that's what I was figuring out. So, inside of the private equity, there's a few things. We have connections to someone that can get a book out for us that's going to come out and be a massive lead generator. We have big names that can be affiliates, and then we're going to reverse engineer paycheck sizes. We have ads. We have a really great connection to different ads managers that can scale the ads on a massive level on multiple platforms. So we know someone who actually used to run the ads for ClickFunnels. We know someone that used to run ads for other big names and scaled their campaigns. So because it is who you know, and that makes the biggest difference. And I cannot stress that enough. The principles of business, in my opinion, they'll always stay the same. I mean, if you look at it decades, centuries, the principles of business have always stayed the same. But if you learn how to do the skill and the mechanics of why it works so well, you have unlocked the secret that a lot of people don't know. That's number one. That's most important in my mind. And then number two, now that you know the skill, you can figure out who can accelerate it now. And when your network expands, and private equity has done that for me, and real quick, if you don't know what private equity is, let me just quickly explain. That way we're all on the same page, because I know I'm saying this and I just had this thought. Maybe I should expand a little bit more. So, private equity for me, now this is different than other people. My firm looks a little different because I don't strictly deal with just equity deals. So I sometimes go into businesses and do a revenue share, but I'm coming in and feeding them to a certain point. And then others, for instance, I have gotten 50% equity, scaled their business to millions in 6 months, and then had a buyout and hopped out because she wanted to keep scaling it from there. Others, I've had more long-term equity deals where we're trying to work towards an exit. That one did not shake out very well at all because I chose the wrong operator. And that's where it goes to, is I made so many mistakes in private equity. And one of the biggest ones is I have chosen the wrong operator because I really liked the person, but the way they did business did not align with me for a variety of reasons. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing that exists and is reality. So it's not like we have to judge it and say, ooh, we don't like them. It's like, no, we love them, but maybe this is not the right role for us to be in together. That's fine. It took me the past 4 years to really learn that lesson. So yeah, that's private equity in a nutshell. You're basically going into businesses and either you and a team, and I am developing my team to accelerate the businesses that are within the private equity landscape because we're doing incubation. So where we come in, we incubate an idea, we launch it off the ground, and then we're pulling cash flow within half a year is the goal. And so we're both putting our teams together for that. Anyways, I just feel like I word vomited a little bit, but my goal with these episodes is to be so transparent, show you what's actually going on behind the scenes of creating and building and growing a $50 million tech company, what that looks like for me, that I'm an investor, I'm an advisor, and I'm an entrepreneur and a podcaster, right? All these things. And it's going to look different week to week. Everything changes week to week. And that's the exciting part of it, especially when it just feels like play. I hope you got so much value out of this. And if you have any questions, if you have something where you're like, oh, Haley, I wish you would have explained this a little bit more. This intrigued me, or I'm curious about this. This podcast is for you. It's not just for me. I don't want to just talk to hear myself talk. I want to talk about things that you are going to take from and you go, oh, that just completely expanded my mind in this way. And now I can grow my business differently. Or, wow, this really helped me. So whatever it is, just reach out. Let me know. I'm always on Instagram. My handle is by Haley Bree. Now, real quick, there's two things. Number one, if you want to be on the wait list for a lifetime member on this tech company, please go ahead and sign up. I will leave the link around this episode. You will get so much value, and that I can promise you, especially for the price that you're paying. And you will have lifetime access to the software that will probably keep increasing in price, and we'll keep adding things to it as well. So definitely come in from the ground floor. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will be choosing people that are lifetime members to actually hop on a one-on-one call with, because I want to get to know your business more. So definitely sign up for that wait list. And then number two, download the Haley Bree app. It is completely free. And that is where I will actually share video recordings of the episodes we had, of the conversations we had while we were mapping out this ecosystem. So you can see how our brains are working in real time and drawing this out. If you're at all curious, I mean, that's why I recorded them. Like, I'm not trying to hide anything. I really want to be as transparent as possible and show you guys what growing at a high scale looks like. So thanks for coming along for the ride. I really appreciate you listening, and I'll talk to you next week. Real quick, I'm putting together a free community for online entrepreneurs that want to join this next era of entrepreneurship. It is all in an easy-to-use app under the name Haley Bree on the App Store, Google Play Store, or just go to the show notes description and I will have all the links there for you. Because we have outgrown the grind, we have outgrown the business advice that's do more, work more, post more, because we might be parents, neurodivergent, have a 28-day hormone cycle, or let's face it, just we're recovering from burnout or illness or trauma. So if you're like, yes, Haley, I want to be a part of this, awesome. Let's get you in on these deep conversations that are leading to smarter strategies in online business, or the free live events where you can go to and I will visually break down systems, strategies, and models that create profit without relying on you. That way you can be relaxed and get richer, and those two things can happen at the same time. So let's get you to download the app, and then we can welcome you into our group. I cannot wait to see you inside, and thank you for listening to this episode.